In today's video, we talk about how to build compliant outlines. We also have a video that talks about how to build a technical outline, a video for how to build a cost outline, and a video about compliance when it relates to past performance. Here we show a table of the typical federal RFP sections. The sections in red are the ones that the proposal team will focus on the most. Section C, or the statement of work or the performance work statement. Section L, which is the instructions to offerers, sometimes called also proposal instructions. And Section M, the evaluation criteria, or how the proposal will be evaluated by the government. The structure of the proposal outline or the compliance matrix starts with Section L, and then Section M is filtered in, and then Section C, which identifies the work to be done, is added in the appropriate section. Discrepancies between Section L and M must be addressed, as both must be included. So if there's something in Section M that isn't included in Section L, you need to find an appropriate place in your outline to include it. It's also important to look in Section H for any key personnel requirements. And don't forget to look at Section B, which is usually the CLIN structure and tells you the kind of contract, cost plus or T&M, and that may be a factor in your management volume or other sections of the proposal. Not all proposals will have something called Section L or M and C. Some customers have their own numbering structure or naming convention. The Department of Homeland Security, for example, does this. They number their RFPs instead of using letters. But there's almost always something called proposal instructions or instructions to offerers or something along those lines that has the instructions for fonts and the numbers of pages and all of those factors that you have to take into account in your outline. There's always something that tells you how the proposal will be evaluated, whether that's tables of excellent, very good, good, poor, and unacceptable, or very relevant, relevant, somewhat relevant, and not relevant. This is the equivalent of Section M. RFPs also usually include a section telling you what work the government is asking you to do. That's the statement of work or the performance work statement. And for IDIQs, this may be only very high-level information, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have to be addressed. It still needs to be addressed. So we recommend that you always start with a proposal template. Most companies have a proposal template that matches their brand. So be sure to use yours and follow the style guidance included in the template in terms of fonts and colors, etc., making sure that everything is compliant with what the RFP is requiring, of course. Cover pages often have to include specific information from the proposal instructions. So make sure you pay attention to this when you're building your proposal template. The cover pages also usually includes the FAR disclosure statement written below. This is straight out of the FAR and doesn't need to be modified in any way, but can be modified if you need to. So if you're responding to an RFI, for example, you might change that to say this response to the request for information, etc. So you can use this same disclosure statement on multiple kinds of documents. It's for wherever you want to protect your information. You want to include the RFP information on every page, usually in the header. The name of the RFP, the volume name, and be sure to use whatever language the RFP uses. So if they call it the business volume, call it the business volume. If they call it the pricing volume, call it the pricing volume. Same thing with whether they use proposal or they use volume. And then the RFP number exactly as the government has put it in the RFP. So if there's not a number sign in front of it, don't add it. Then include the proposal due date. That's usually in the footer. You may have to change that later, of course, if you get an extension. The footer should also include the language from the FAR that goes with the disclosure statement, which is use, or disclosure of the data on this page is subject to the restriction on the cover page of the proposal. So you put your disclosure statement on the cover page, and then in the footer of every subsequent page, you put that language from the FAR. I hope you enjoyed this video from Demystifying Proposals. Please leave a comment if you have any questions or you think there's additional information that needs to be added, and we will consider updates as appropriate. Thank you for your time.